Okay, the future event that you are currently worrying about is not yet fixed, and that is because the future is not fixed. But of course, if you continue worrying about it, if you're afraid of it, then yes, you are fixing that with consciousness, and then that will be your reality. But it doesn't have to be that way, because in this moment, this is the moment with pure potential, and you have the capacity right now to shift into a new state and to enter into a new timeline and set up a new sequence of events to experience in reality. And that's what we're talking about today, so stick around. This channel is dedicated to simplifying the law of assumption teachings and making them as practical as possible so that you can apply them to your life and experience the reality that you want to experience, and to write the movie of your dreams into existence. So my name is Hedley. I'm a qualified life coach. If you would like support with anything to do with law of assumption or changing your reality, I am available for one-to-one law of assumption coaching, where we will get into the stories that you're telling and then we will rewrite them. And we will do that together, because sometimes it is good to have support. So all of those details are in the box below this video. I also have a free course. You'll find that below as well, or at my website, youaretheone.com.au. But for now, let's get into it. Okay, I am just going to get straight into today's topic because I got to meet my friend in half an hour. So we're just going to get straight into it, but also because I have a little bit to share and I have diagrams, woohoo, which I just quickly whipped up. What we're talking about today is something that we've all done, which is worry about a future event. We've all had a future event that we know is coming, and we have worried about it or stressed out about it. And then we've tried to get out of that stressful state or that fearful state and tried to get into another like happy, more relaxed state, only to find ourselves kind of more stressed and more anxious. So I know I've done that many times, and I'm pretty sure you guys have as well. And this process will bring what we're doing very unconsciously to the conscious surface so that we can become aware of what we're doing, and then we can start to do something differently, because it is actually really simple to shift this. So the event that you're worrying about in your mind, which looks so real in imagination because you're just going over and over and over again, it's not fixed, it's not real. The only thing that is solid is this moment now. This moment is all there is. Everything else is a concept of consciousness. Past and future are just concepts of consciousness. They are not solid. They are not fixed. But the way you make reality fixed, the way we fix reality, is first of all to fix a state of consciousness. Once we've fixed our attention and awareness to a state, the subconscious accepts it and it gets solidified and out pictured as a reality. So what we tend to do, not realizing this, is we use this moment now to set up the next moment in the future, in our imagination, in our consciousness. And it feels very real, of course, because imagination is so vivid, and imagination is what's real, and reality is just reflecting it back. The moment that you're in right now is pure potential. What I mean by that is there is an infinite number of possibilities that you could fix your attention onto and then set up a sequence of events that will solidify into what you experience as reality with your five senses. We do this process unconsciously, meaning we're in this moment, we're off with the fairies, thinking about something or worrying about something, not realizing that we are using the pure potentiality of this moment to set up the next one. Of course, there is no next, because it's just one long continuous solidification of consciousness. And we are constantly setting up the sequence of events that we are experiencing in our reality just based on what we're worrying about or what we're thinking about. And we do it unconsciously. So when you've got a future event that you know is coming, and it could be something like a reunion with an ex or a partner or somebody that you care about, or a doctor's appointment, something where you know that there is an event coming, but right now it's just an event in consciousness. So it's in your diary, but it's still not yet fixed. The outcome of that appointment is not fixed. But of course, that rational mind of ours needs to know everything. It's like, it's got to know. So because the rational mind can't handle not knowing something, it will take a potential and make it real so that we can prepare ourselves for this moment that is not yet in reality. So it is actually the rational mind selecting potentials, and then we fix our attention onto it to the point where it becomes real, and we get into the state, and then we experience what that outcome would feel like now, even though the future event is not yet here. So the first diagram, you've got the future event in your imagination. The outcome that you select is based on self-concept. So if you have a low self-concept, is going to select a low quality assumption to go with that event. And because you're not aware of that process happening, you are just suddenly in a state of fear thinking about this future event. So then you're in a state of fear and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to be here. You then think of another possible outcome, and we look over at another outcome and we think that looks like a much better outcome. I want that outcome. I don't want the outcome that I'm currently fearing. I want to feel good. So we are looking at another potential outcome, but still in the current state. We haven't disidentified with the current state. And what happens is when we try to enter a new state from the current state, we are actually in resistance to the current state, and now resistance is affirmative. So we actually end up affirming more of what we don't want. This is where people get muddled up because they're in a state of fear. They don't want to be. They want to be feeling relaxed or happy or excited about something, and they're looking from the current state to another possible outcome that's going to give them a different condition or a different experience, and then they want that one, but they're in resistance to the current one, and then they end up getting more of the current state. In order to change a state, you have to exit the current state you're in. So if you are in a state of fear, worrying about a future event, in anxiety or something like that, you have to exit fear, you have to exit anxiety, you have to exit that state of stress in order to enter a new state. So how do you exit the current state that you're in? You have to become aware of all the possible states that are available to you. The way you do that is you walk out into the hallway and you find yourself in a hallway, and in front of you there's a number of doors. There's an infinite number of doors, and on every door there is a possible outcome. This event could go that way, this event could go that way, this event could go that way, this event could go that way. Now, each possible outcome has a condition associated with it. So one's going to leave you in fear, one's going to leave you happy, one's going to leave you calm, one's going to leave you excited. There's an infinite number of states associated with an infinite number of possible outcomes to this particular future event. But for you to choose consciously the way you want that event to go is you have to exit the current state you're in, become aware of the infinite possibilities available to you. Now, the way you do that is you come back to I am. I am is the one who chooses the state that you enter into, because I am is infinite awareness. Now, when you enter the hallway, you suddenly become aware of all the doors. So whatever door you choose is what's going to lead to the particular outcome of that future event. But as long as you are trying to jump from one state to another, you are going to be in resistance to this current state, and that's what you're going to get. You have to exit the state that you're in order to enter another one. And the way you do that is come back out into the hallway of I am, where you become aware of the infinite number of potentials that are available to you in regards to this particular event. And always remember that no event in your future is fixed until you have entered into that particular reality. And up until that point, you have free will as to what you do with your awareness. Now, you can spend that time freaking out and getting anxious and worrying about how it's going to play out. Or you could come out into the hallway and realize there is an infinite number of ways and outcomes that this event could play out. The one you select is going to be based on the quality of your self-concept. That's why self-concept is so important, because you're going to select either a shitty outcome or a great outcome, depending on what you believe to be true about yourself. If you believe that you are the creator of your reality and that you are the infinite I am, you are going to choose a door that's going to lead you to an experience that you want to have. If you believe that you're a victim to reality and reality is happening to you, you are going to choose a really shitty door that leads to a shitty outcome where you experience feeling like a victim. You have complete free will as to which door you choose and which state you enter into and which outcome you experience with your five senses in reality. But I want to remind you that your future is not fixed, but what you do with your awareness now in relation to that future event is fixing it into shape. I just use this hallway and door analogy. Find one that works for you, but this actually helps me realize that there's so many more options available to me. As long as I'm in the room of fear, I am identified with the state of fear and anxiety, and then I am playing out what that outcome looks like that's going to get me that state. I have to exit the state of fear, and that's really hard if you're in a state of fear. The only way to exit it is to realize in order for me to feel fear, there has to be a contrasting state available to me. And of course, there's an infinite number of contrasting states available to me. There's also an infinite number of similar states available to me, because every outcome is already in play. Whatever you can imagine, you can experience in reality. That's why Neville says all creation is finished, because all creation is finished. All we're doing is selecting from infinite creation. And then we're entering into those states, and then we're fixing our attention on that state, and then our subconscious to go, okay, order has been received, and then whoo, here it is. Now you get to experience it with your 5 senses because you're that powerful and you have free will, and that's the game of life, and that's the adventure we're having. If you have a future event coming up, and you're in fear or you're in worry or you're anxiety, then you have identified with that state, and then you are going to be playing out situations and circumstances in your imagination that are going to give you that condition so that you can experience it, and you'll be able to experience it through the event that you are setting up by placing your awareness or maintaining your awareness on that state. You have to exit that state. You have to walk out of the room and into the hallway, come back to I am. I am the infinite I am. And this moment is a moment of infinite possibilities. The future is not set. The future is not fixed. I fix it with my awareness. So as long as I'm out in the hallway, I'm not doing anything. I'm just aware of the infinite number of possibilities. Then you can look and go, all right, I can have any one of these. Which door am I going to enter into? I think I'm going to enter into the door of excitement. Now, if you enter into that state of excitement and you feel excitement, then that future event is going to have to reorganize itself to leave you feeling excited, because that's the state you've entered into, that's what you've fixed your awareness on, and that is what is going to get projected out and reflected back. And of course, the mystery is we don't know how the future event is going to reflect back in a way that's going to leave us excited, and that's the mystery, and that's where we get to be the audience member in our own movies. We get to sit back and go, wow, this is so exciting. I can't believe this. This is amazing. Who would have thought? I never could have choreographed this myself. And you're right, you could not. Your rational mind could not have choreographed all those synchronicities to play out exactly as they did, because we are not the ones who create reality. We create consciousness. We create the state. I know it's going to sound weird, but we actually don't create reality. We select the state of consciousness that gets outpictured in the form of situations, circumstances, and events, and we experience them with our 5 senses. But we do not have control over reality. We only have control over consciousness. We only have control over the door that we're entering into, the room, the state that we're entering into, and then becoming identified with and experiencing in consciousness first before it then gets outpictured in our reality. So please step out of the room that you are in if it is not favorable, if it is not what you want to experience in your reality. Exit that state, come out into the hallway of I am, recognize I am the infinite I am, and you can imagine like this long hallway, it's like never ending in each direction. And you can like look in all the doors and see that there's an infinite number of doors, and you get to choose which door you walk through, and every door will lead you to a different result and a different experience and a different outcome and a different sequence of events that gets set off once you enter that door and that reality becomes solidified. So, with that said, go and have fun with it, play with it. If you've got any questions, let me know. I hope that made sense. I hope the diagrams made sense. I just whipped them up really quickly. I think that's it. As always, please remember that you are the amazing creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, and the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you. Assume the best for everyone in your movie too, and you will have an amazing life. And this is my wish, my vision, and my prayer for you and for me too. Woo! Okay, I'm going to go meet my friend now. Bye.